Welcome back to Ride Next Day, your ultimate pit stop for everything two-wheeled, where passion meets adventure and stories unfold through machines that define character, performance, and timeless style. And today, we're diving deep into a motorcycle that's been the subject of intense anticipation, speculation, and excitement at the all-new 2025 Royal Enfield Himalayan 650. If you're someone who dreams of conquering mountain trails, gravel roads, and long-haul journeys with comfort, power, and authenticity, this motorcycle is going to speak directly to your soul. Let's begin with what makes this Himalayan 650 such a milestone for Royal Enfield. The original Himalayan 411 redefined what an affordable, purpose-built adventure bike could be. It wasn't flashy or overloaded with tech, but it was honest, rugged, and reliable, and it created a whole new segment of accessible adventure bikes. Now, for 2025, Royal Enfield has done what enthusiasts have been begging for since the launch of the original. They've taken that same philosophy and infused it with their much-loved 650cc twin-cylinder engine. The result is a machine that promises a new chapter in mid-size adverb touring, more power, more road presence, and more confidence off the beaten track. Visually, the Himalayan 650 carries the design DNA of its smaller sibling but elevates everything from its stance to the quality of materials and its proportions. This is not just a scaled-up Himalayan 411, it's been reimagined from the ground up to be a proper globetrotter. The bike feels larger, wider, and more planted. The fuel tank is more muscular with aggressive contours while still offering that tall rod and commanding posture. The front peak is retained, of course, that iconic adventure-style front mudguard, but the LED headlamp now adds a more modern, aggressive edge. Above it, you'll find a tall windscreen that's adjustable, which is a welcome upgrade, especially for riders spending hours on highways or battling crosswinds. The frame is all new, a stronger double cradle design engineered to handle the torque of the 648cc engine and the added weight of adventure gear. Royal Enfield has also focused on improving rider ergonomics for long-distance comfort. The seat is wider and better cushioned, and the handlebars are now higher and slightly swept back for relaxed touring. The pillion seat has been thoughtfully redesigned too, offering greater support for two-up adventures. Luggage mounting points are built into the subframe and are more robust than ever, meaning Royal Enfield wants this bike to be travel-ready right out of the factory floor. Now, under the hood or rather, under the tank sits the beloved 648cc parallel twin engine, the same that powers the Interceptor 650 and the Continental GT. This engine has already proven itself as one of the smoothest and most reliable twin-cylinder motors in its segment. In the Himalayan 650, it's been retuned slightly to prioritize torque delivery in the low and mid-range, crucial for off-road riding and long-distance touring. You're looking at around 47 horsepower and 52 Nm of torque, but it's the way this power comes on that makes all the difference. Whether you're pulling through slushy trails in second gear or overtaking on a mountain highway, the bike feels responsive, confident, and never stressed. Royal Enfield has equipped the Himalayan 650 with a 6-speed gearbox that's slick and well-spaced. And yes, there's a slipper clutch as standard. The fueling has also seen refinement. Throttle response is smoother, and there's a ride-by-wire system that allows for cruise control, a first for any Royal Enfield and a massive plus for long-distance riders. The suspension setup is built for adventure. At the front, you have 43mm USD forks with generous travel, and at the rear, there's a monoshock with preload adjustability. The suspension tuning feels more mature this time, firm enough for tarmac stability at highway speeds, but with enough give to soak up rocks, potholes, and uneven trails. Ground clearance is a commanding 220mm, which gives you the freedom to tackle most terrains without second-guessing. As for the wheels, we get 21-inch front and 17-inch rear wire spoke rims, shod with dual-purpose tubeless-ready tires, another upgrade that off-roaders have been hoping for. Braking comes courtesy of dual-piston calipers at the front with a large 320mm disc and a 240mm disc at the rear. The braking setup is sharper, more progressive, and offers better bite than the older Himalayan. And yes, you get dual-channel ABS, with the ability to disable the rear for off-road fun, a small feature that adds a lot of control when you're riding on loose gravel or dirt trails. Now let's talk about tech, and this is where Royal Enfield has made noticeable strides forward without compromising its rugged, analog charm. The Himalayan 650 comes with a new digital analog instrument cluster, combining a classic analog tachometer with a crisp TFT display that offers turn-by-turn navigation via the Tripper system, real-time fuel economy, gear indicator, service alerts, and even a compass. USB Type-C and regular USB charging ports are integrated, making it easy to power up gadgets and GoPros while on the move. Lighting is all LED now, a headlamp, tail lamp, indicators, all of which improve visibility and lend the modern aesthetic to the overall design. The switchgear has been upgraded too, with backlit buttons and a more premium tactile feel. There are even multiple riding modes in some variants, including road, rain, and off-road which tweak throttle response and ABS intervention. One of the biggest improvements, and probably the most appreciated by real-world adventurers, is the focus on heat management and refinement. Earlier Himalayan models were notorious for heating up in slow-moving traffic, especially in warmer climates. The 650's oil-cooled engine now comes with enhanced cooling pathways and better airflow designed to reduce rider discomfort. Vibrations. Another talking point, and past models have been significantly reduced thanks to rubber mounts and a better balanced engine cradle setup. Coming to the ride feel, and this is where the Himalayan 650 really comes into its own. On tarmac, it glides. The engine feels creamy smooth, and that torque wave is always ready when you twist the throttle. At 100 km/h. The engine cruises at low revs, making highway cruising feel effortless. Overtaking is easy, and you don't need to shift constantly as the bike pulls cleanly from low RPMs. But it's when you leave the asphalt behind that you truly understand the intent behind this motorcycle. On gravel, forest trails, or rocky inclines, the Himalayan 650 maintains traction, stability, and rider confidence. The standing riding posture is comfortable and natural. The pegs are wide and grippy, and the handlebars offer excellent leverage. Whether you're a weekend explorer or someone planning a pan-continental ride, this bike feels ready for both. As for the weight, yes, it is heavier than the 411, coming in at around 215 to 220 kilograms curb, but the mass is well distributed and becomes unnoticeable once you're on the move. In fact, the added weight contributes to high-speed stability and road presence. The seat height, at around 825 millimeters, strikes a balance between approachability and off-road clearance. Riders of average height won't find it intimidating, and taller riders will love the commanding view of the road ahead. Let's talk about price, because this has always been Royal Enfield's ace. Despite the upgrades, performance, and global potential, the 2025 Himalayan 650 comes in at a shockingly competitive starting price of around 4 Indian rupees and 30 paise lakhs showroomed in India, or approximately $5,500 in international markets. That puts it head-to-head with bikes like the Kawasaki Versys 650, the Suzuki V-Strom 650, and even the KTM Adventure 390. In some ways, but it undercuts many of them in price while offering a unique mix of retro charm and long-distance ability. And this brings us to the unique selling proposition of the Himalayan 650. It's not trying to be the most powerful or the most high-tech adventure bike on the market. Instead, it's about soulful exploration. It gives you just enough power, just enough features, and just enough modernity while keeping the spirit of old-school adventure alive. There's something incredibly authentic about the bike that you can wrench on, trust to take you across the Himalayas, and still feel comfortable riding every day to work. That's what the Himalayan 650 brings, a blend of purpose, simplicity, and mechanical honesty in an era where many bikes are becoming overly complex. Royal Enfield has also made it clear that they're going global with this model, not just in sales, but in support, accessories, touring packages, crash guards, panniers, windshields, auxiliary lighting. They've gone all in, and that means you can spec this bike exactly how you want it. Whether you're planning a weekend escape or an overland journey across continents, the Himalayan 650 offers the foundation to build your dream machine. So, if you've been waiting for a bike that can do it all, commute, tour, explore, and conquer without breaking the bank or losing its character, the 2025 Royal Enfield Himalayan 650 might just be the adventure companion you've been looking for. Thanks for joining us here at Ride Next. If you enjoyed this step dive review and want more insights, ride stories, and reviews from the world of two wheels, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for updates. Until next time, ride safe, ride far, and never stop exploring.